So here's my Pikachu armor on a mannequin. Or is it a mannequin? So this is my Wastelander Pikachu armor. If you follow my channel, you've probably seen him before. It's this weird Pokemon Fallout mashup thing. It does have this backstory that I came up with help from people in the comments about how it's set in this apocalyptic Pokemon world where there's a tribe of people that worship Pikachu as a god. It does make sense, kind of. I did a lot of videos on this thing, but when I was finished, apart from the cool photos you just saw, I never really did anything with it. That's gonna change though, because this weekend I'm wearing this guy to a convention. Before I do that, there are some things I have to change. May I direct your attention to the butt? A lot of the tools and weapons hanging from this belt they're actually tools and weapons. One of the videos I did when I was making this costume was I built this Wastelander forge out of like a bucket and a hairdryer and made weapons how you might have to make them in a real wasteland. So all this stuff, it's actually metal. This is just a throwing star, really. What I'm saying is the convention people aren't gonna let me bring in a rusty spanner knife. So this stuff needs to be replaced with prop replicas or just something different altogether. Now, I did make a huge shield, but F that, I ain't carrying that around all day at a convention. I am gonna take the sword. I wanna make a holster though, so that it kind of hangs like where the tail of Pikachu would be, because the sword looks like a tail. Get it? It looks... That brings me to the helmet. Now, I love this helmet. It's probably one of my favorite things I've made. But it covers your whole face and mouth and eyes and ears and nose, which is cool looking for photos and to have on display. But I don't really want to wear it all day at a convention. That being said, I think the costume kind of loses something without having some part of it on the head. So I'm gonna make a different mask that kind of gets some of the best parts of this one, but also has my face hanging out. I'm thinking I'm gonna use this Thanos mask that I made once. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this Thanos mask, cut out the purple face part, and use the helmet as the helmet. I'm still doing this stuff, man, come on. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm gonna get rid of the Thanos face, paint the helmet yellow, add some ears, try and make a Pikachu helmet out of this thing. Let's get to making.
Making.
So the last step for this boy is to get some silver spray paint and just touch it along the edges to make it look like this is metal and the edges have worn from being thrown at enemies and other Pokemon's faces and whatnot. Yeah, it's maybe a bit too big, I would think.
No, not too big.
Not too big? Nah, mate, I'm telling you, it's too big. You look ridiculous, my man. So I'm just making a pokeball out of this old Christmas decoration. I use contact cement to attach the craft foam to the ball. Usually with contact cement you want to be really careful so that none of it oozes out the side. But when you're making Wastelander stuff that's meant to look like it's been out in a desert for a million years, the bits where the contact cement's kind of seeping out, it just adds to the effect. Now I'm going to put some wood glue on it which will seal in the foam so it takes paint easier. Also, it makes a great snack. I'm just kidding, please don't demonetize me because some kid ate glue. I just remembered that I've also got a crossbow I built for the costume. Pretty sure they're not going to let me bring this in because it is actually just a working crossbow. I might just leave this one at home. So I'm going to take off these ears from the original mask to attach to the new mask. They're not quite the same color yellow, but that's okay. Throughout this whole process, I've kind of made sure that every piece of the armor is a slightly different shade of yellow for a couple of reasons. The first reason is it looked a bit Power Rangery when they were all like a flat yellow. The second reason is I'm trying to simulate something built in a wasteland over a period of years. So every piece would have gone through different weathering and aging processes and they probably would look a bit different. So that's the new helmet complete. Kind of like what I did with the throwing star. I dry brushed silver spray paint on the edges to give that worn metal look on the edge. Now it's time to put everything on and go to the convention. Here are some photographs I assume I'm going to take. So that was how I made my Wastelander Pikachu costume better for a convention. A lot of people thought I was some kind of version of Thor. I kind of look like Thor, and in hindsight I do realize this looked like it's Thor's helmet, just yellow. You can support me on Patreon. One of the lowest rewards is I make fun of your name in a video. Thanks to my latest patron, Lauren. Lauren, more like boring. That was a bad one. Anyway, thank you for watching.